Double tap B to automatically switch to full auto if available. If it does not change the fire mode, it means your gun either does not support full auto or you have already switched to full auto. By default, you can double tap Z to quickly drop your backpack if you need to lose the extra weight in a fight. You can add weapon inspect and fix malfunction on the same button. Once you have done that, make sure the inspect is set to press and fix malfunction is set to release. That way, when you hold down the button for an extra second, it will fix the malfunction on release. Throwing grenades accurately can be tough. For long-range throws, use left click. For short throws, use right click. Also take into account the explosion delay. For example, you can use an M67 which has a 5-second delay to throw the grenades over buildings or just longer distance in general. All throwables will usually make AI scream out a voice line. Good way to figure out if there's any bosses around and to get them moving if you are in a vulnerable spot. This does, however, have a 15-second cooldown, so you have to wait before you do it again. Throwing those grenades in the general vicinity of the boss makes them sprint, and running AI is generally weak AI. Use it to your advantage to make it significantly easier to kill bosses. If you know that you're about to get into a fight, you can use a painkiller ahead of time. In that case, if you do get a fracture or a blacked out leg, you are still able to run and get into cover. You can cancel healing animations to save yourself some time. Every millisecond counts in a fight. Check top left and left click to cancel when it looks good enough. If you hotkey any of your heals, you can use scroll wheel to choose which part to heal first. Your priority should always be head first, then thorax, because once they get blacked out, any point of damage to those body parts will kill you in an instant. However, that is not the case for your limbs and stomach. You can heal and reload at the same time. While using your first aid kit, doing surgery, or fixing a fracture, you can go into your inventory, right click and press install on a mag that you want to reload into your gun. Top up your mags while you loot. This can be done while searching cabinets, duffel bags, and so on. However, if you do it while healing or consuming something, it will cancel that action. If you are overweight and do not regenerate stamina, you can go prone and keep moving while also regaining some stamina. This keeps you somewhat mobile, but also if you take shots, it is most likely curtains for you. So try and avoid doing it in a location that makes it easy for enemies to spot you. Insurance fraud is a great way to build wealth. If you do kill someone, take their gear and stash yours in some place where it is not easy to find. Choose your insurance wisely. During the lower levels, some items are not worth insuring, like P.A.K.A. soft armor for example. You will likely find better gear at some point, so you will never use that insurance return anyway. If you really need another P.A.K.A. or whatever item it is, just buy it and get more money spent with said trader. Just use Prapor for insurance. You do get your stuff back faster with Therapist, but it also comes at an extra cost, which is just not worth it in my opinion. Time to collect with Prapor is 4 days and 6 days for Therapist. If you play daily, you will have constant insurance returns anyway with Prapor, and you have plenty of time to collect. If you happen to go to labs, do not insure your gear. Neither Therapist or Prapor can get your gear out of there. It will be lost forever regardless. Better keep your rubles at least. If the raid timer is about to run out and you are certain you will not make it to extract in time, throw your loot onto the ground. If the raid ends and you go MIA with your gear on you, that stuff will not be returned in insurance. Lasers increase your hipfire accuracy. But flashlights make it hard for your opponent to pinpoint their shots. Choose wisely or use one that supports both. Even though recoil is very important when building weapons, do not forget about ergonomics. It affects how fast you aim down the sight, how much noise you make while aiming down the sight, and how fast it drains your arm stamina. With the recoil changes last wipe, you should not have a hard time balancing both. If you pick up a magazine from an enemy, instead of checking them all with the middle mouse button, you can drag it from one slot to the other. The full magazines will always be displayed. The ones that remain with the question mark have already been used. Those you will have to check manually. You can craft a bunch of quest items in your hideout. There's too many to list here right now, but most notable ones would be Salewas from Med Station level 1, 60 rounders from Lavatory level 2, and so on. Make sure to check the wiki upon receiving a quest that requires you to hand over a found in raid item. Repair guns or armors you are unable to sell to traders. Fence, however, will accept everything, but for a much lower price. I would not recommend it though. If you want to repair guns or armors yourself, build a workbench for guns and lavatory for armor, then buy weapon or armor repair kit from the flea market. Workbench also gives you access to weapon presets, which does streamline building your weapons. Another benefit to repairing yourself is that it does increase certain skills. Armor repair increases your intellect and heavy or light vest skill. Weapon repair increases your weapon maintenance, intellect, and charisma. Control left click to quickly transfer items in and out of your inventory. Alt and left click to quickly equip gear onto your character. Stash management at lower levels can be tough, but use your existing gear as storage. You can also stack backpacks into each other basically indefinitely. Therapist level 1 sells you a Lucky Scab junk box for most items found in raid, and later on you receive more containers through questing, or you will be able to buy more from traders and flea market. Hideout has more benefits than just crafts. Library grants you permanent 15% boost to your raid experience and 30% boost to your practical skills every single raid. Air filtering unit with the filter inside gives you 40% boost to your physical skills. It is crucial if you want to level up your endurance and strength efficiently. To level up your endurance, you cannot be overweight, meaning the weight number cannot be yellow. To level up strength, however, it does have to be yellow. Curb your OCD and stop sorting ammo in your ammunition cases. Just throw them in randomly and right-click onto your mags to load ammo that way. That is much more effective. Be careful though, as you could accidentally load wrong ammo into the mags. Do not forget about magazine presets. If you find good ammo, you do not have to throw it all into one mag. Instead of a 30-round mag of Igolnik, for example, bring 3 mags where you have 2 or 3 Igolnik every 5 shots, for example. It takes a little bit of setting up, but you can save it as a preset. Use the filters in your flea market to eliminate unwanted items. For example, set durability from 100% to 100% to avoid accidentally buying used items. Or if you intentionally want to buy used items, do it the other way around. Go from 0% to 50%, for example. Also, check the show functional items only so you don't accidentally buy yourself an empty fuel can when you are trying to buy a full one. Mop the floors in your hideout to get rid of the -3 experience gain in your raids. This will come back, however, so eventually you will have to build that area into a gym. You can use your gym twice in a row instead of just once. After the first session, you will get yourself a mild muscle pain effect, which results in 50% gains from the next training session. This does not have any effect in your raids, so you do not have to worry about that. You can remove the magazine and the pistol grip of your gun to save yourself a considerable amount of space in your stash. This does work with most weapons. Make sure you check the auto select when selling on flea market. Saves you a few clicks and helps you clear out your stash a little quicker. When you're building a gun in your preset tab, you can check the use only available parts to build a gun with only parts that are available in your stash currently. Sometimes it is worth taking a look, since I always end up stashing a few gun parts inside of a backpack, inside of a backpack, inside of a rig. If you want to see what kind of ammunition you have unlocked for your gun, right-click the gun and press the linked search. This opens up the flea market, and on the left side you can go through all of the ammunitions listed. This kind of works with the attachments as well, but it only works to an extent. For more complicated builds, just use the preset tab. Sorting table is essential to organizing your stash. You can shift left click stuff into it, and it frees up some space to move your stuff around in your stash. Just remember, you also have to move the items from your sorting table back into your stash as well. You can add tags to all of your containers. Just right click them, press tag, and you can take it from there. This is especially helpful if you have docs cases or stick cases for each of the map with keys. This way you won't have to check through them before each raid. You can also add tags to your mags. I personally never do that, but it is an option if you wish to do that. Page up and page down allows you to jump from one end of your stash to the other instantaneously. Use online maps to figure out your spawns, where other players can spawn, and how to get to your desired location. I highly recommend the EFT wiki. I also highly recommend EFT wiki if you cannot figure out how to do a certain quest. Searching for it in the EFT wiki will help you figure out how to complete certain tasks step by step, and every single quest is always accompanied by images to make your life a lot easier. I highly recommend rebinding your discard key. Anything is better than pressing delete. I personally have it on mouse 5 for easy access, but this is personal preference, so find what's best suited for you. Money spent with traders also includes barters, so instead of buying and selling items at a loss, check if they have any barters you might need first. Also, when it comes to money spent with Peacekeeper, just buy USD from him. You will need USD for quests, and you will be spending a lot of money on attachments and ammo later on anyway. You will end up with less rubles short term, but in the long term, you will kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Most of you already know this, but you can buy the 2 MP133 shotguns for proper quest debut from Jaeger level 1, and with the removal of global limits, they will always be in stock for you. If you kill an enemy, walking up to their body and searching it gives you a chunk of experience based on the value of their gear and loot. Doing this multiple times per raid can speed up your leveling during the lower levels significantly. If you die, instead of healing with Therapist, you can use a first aid kit in your stash. This will give you a large chunk of experience, once again speeding up your leveling during the early levels. If you are struggling with survival, try Night Raids. It generally has less players, and those players have a harder time spotting you due to the limited visibility. Same thing applies to AI. If you need to go to the rogue camp for example, but the rogues snipe you from across the map every single time, go at night. This limits their visibility significantly and likely increases your survivability as well. And finally, use planes for your advantage. Even though we lose our hearing for the next 3 hours when the plane comes in with an airdrop, it is perfect to mask your footsteps and your nades. If you want to do an unexpected push or a retreat, plane will be perfect to mask your footsteps and your jumps. That about sums it up. I hope you found something useful in this video. Thank you for watching and have a great day.